What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Video today is replacing trailer lights. So if you have an older trailer, you have a broken light, all right, one side's working fine, the other one here, you can see it's damaged. I'll tell you, for the price to replace it all, even the wiring, you're better off just, instead of replacing the light, and if the wiring is in rough shape, which this is, just go out and get yourself a kit. It's about $25 to $35 depending on what you choose. They're all pretty much the same. These light kits are universal to all trailers, and they're pretty simple to install. All right, what you're gonna do is, obviously you have your two lights, one on each corner, and you have some running lights there. This trailer, I'm redoing it. You can see there was a reflector here, but I'm going to drill a hole right in and run the wire up through there and put one of the running lights on that side and one on the other and replace these lights here. So let's get to it and I'll show you how we start. Alright, the first thing you want to do is you're going to start at the top here at the tongue, and you'll see the older wiring, whichever setup you have. Yours could be damaged, it could be cut. All right, we're going to try to do this with you-know-who in the way here, Sunny. All right, all these things are universal. It comes with the wiring, comes with the plug that goes to the harness. Every trailer is different. Some wires you can see here run underneath the trailer, and they're pretty much stapled. They're tacked onto the undercarriage, all right? This trailer happens to have little conduit pipe, if you can see there, on both sides. And the wire comes out here. So we're going to reuse the conduit, but we're going to put some silicone and stuff when I'm finished to feed these lights. But you're going to start up here at the tongue. You're going to determine how your wires are run. All right, you can see mine. Two wires shoot off to one side, and the other two shoot off to the other side. Now, the white wire in here is a ground. So you're going to ground. When we start running this wire, first thing we're going to do is we're going to determine how we run our wires, underneath or wherever. And the white wire here is going to be grounded to the frame. And then what you're going to do is the yellow and brown, you're going to separate. The yellow and brown is going to go on the road side of the trailer, and the green and the brown is going to go on the curb side. Okay? So yellow and brown will be on the driver's side when you're driving, and obviously the green and the brown are going to be on the curb side. And the reason you have to do it that way is when you put on your blinkers, they work left and right. And then you have clearance lights. The clearance light are they're reflector lights that I'm going to add to this trailer, and they tie into the brown. The brown on both sides is your power. So here on this side, it was an old reflector. I'm going to drill a hole because it's hollow, and I'm going to put self-tapping screws, and I'm going to put a running light on this side and one on the other side, the identical area on the other side, and the wire's going to run underneath. This one's also going to have a white wire for a ground. You're going to ground it right to the frame, and then the brown wire coming off of this light, you're going to tie into that brown wire that runs from the front all the way to the back to that light. Okay, so let me get it started so you can understand a little bit better. All right, first thing I'm going to do is remove all my old hardware. I'm going to take these clamps off. You could reuse this piece. I'm going to reuse this. This covers the wiring to protect it. It's a little cover, and it's in good shape, so I'm going to reuse it. And I'm going to basically remove all these wires, but I'm going to use it as a snake. So don't rip all the wires out. You're going to use it to go through certain areas. You're going to tape your new wire to the old and pull it from front to back. All right, so remember I told you about the ground. This is where my existing ground was on this screw. So you're going to reuse this here, clean it up. If you have a painted surface, you want to grind it a little bit. You want a nice connection with the trailer. So we're going to take this existing one off, and we're going to reuse it. I'm going to get another clamp to put on the new white wire. And then, like I said, we're going to run the green and the brown to one side, and you can see here this has been painted, but the yellow and brown to the other. All right. And again, you have these little conduits here all around. I'm gonna reuse it the same pathway. All trailers are different, but remember, you always want to ground at the front with your new wiring. And when I take this out, I'll explain it to you a little bit better. All right, so now that we got the clamp off, you're gonna unravel the wire that comes with your kit. Obviously, make sure it's long enough for your trailer. But you can see here, this is just a pigtail on one side. Watch out, Sonny. This pigtail you don't need if you have your plug there. This is if you want to hardwire it. So it'll be pulled apart here, but this is the part that feeds on the trailer. So here is the white wire I talked about. You're going to ground this little tail. I'm going to ground it right to that clamp so the trailer's grounded. And then, like I said, you have your green and brown, okay, which you're going to shoot on the curb side. Green and brown goes to curb side, and the yellow and brown is the street side. And it does come separate. So we're going to take our green and brown and we're going to follow it on this side, very basic. And we're going to bring it back to that light back there. And when we take the light off, we'll be able to connect it. And that's it. I mean, it's basic. All these trailers are the same, so if you're thinking of replacing lights, you can do it yourself. Probably take you about 45 minutes to an hour. So let me get started. I'm gonna, like I said, reuse the old pathways. I'm gonna cut, for instance, I'm gonna cut it here. I'm gonna tape the new one right to here. And as long as it's got an easy pull, I'm gonna just pull it through all those little pieces all the way to the back light, okay? All right, so have it ready to go. Take the old, tape in the new. You can see where I started it. I went through that first grommet. So I'm gonna start loosening it, and you can see here, you're just gonna start pulling this, and it's gonna go through. And we're gonna follow it all the way to that back corner. So we got it here. Then we're gonna come through here. Sorry about the lighting. Let's see if I can show you this. I want to go nice and easy. And you can see this one goes up inside here. So inside here is where I can make a nice connection with my new light, my running light, where I'm going to splice it into the brown inside this channel, which it'll keep it nice and dry if you look. And then it comes out into that conduit that shoots down the back of the trailer. Okay, you can see I pulled it through the conduit. Now what I want to do, because I'm mounting a light here instead of this reflector, I'm going to mount the light. I'm going to splice into my brown first, self-tap my light, then I will pull the slack into the back because it will pull this up and it'll hide the wire underneath. You don't want that wire drooped so it can get cut. So let's get that running light, or whatever you want to call it. We're going to scrape this off a little bit, the best we can. I might even leave it because it's a little padding. And I'm going to self-tap the lights in, which are these here. This kit comes with 2 of them. I believe it would be a space for here through that little slot, but I want to put it here. I want to put one here. So when you're driving, you can see the light there at night with the tail light over there. Instead of putting it on that little fender, I'm going to put it up here where the reflector is. If you look under here, I don't know if you can see it. I sanded that down. It's bare metal, and that's where I'm going to put my self-tapping screw. All right, so to mount one of these side running lights, I have the slack like we talked about. You want to separate the wire, pull it apart. Brown is always power, yellow you leave it alone. So right here there was a reflector. What you're going to have to do, in my case, is I got to drill a hole so I could run that wire, this wire from the light, through the hole, because I want it nice and neat. You have a channel back here, you know what I mean? So you could hide some of it. But you want to put it, you want to make it nice and even. Pick a spot. All right, I like it like that. So I'm going to just put a hole, because it was on the side channel. I can go like right about here. All right, so we're going to go through this frame. All right, safety glasses, obviously. What you want to do is you want to feed your wire through here. Now some of you might have the channel, some of you might not. You're just putting it on a frame. All right, so we get our wires through, we snake them through. All right, looks good like this. All right, what I want to do is I want to get it to where I want it. Then I'm going to get a self-tapping screw, which is one of these guys here. You don't know if you're not familiar, it's got the teeth. It's got the little at the end. We're going to put it up here. We're going to get our drill. And we're going to start this here. Apply a little pressure. So easy. Once it starts to go, we're going to just keep it loose for now, but it's in place. Okay? Now down here, I don't know if you can see, let's zoom in. You got to take your brown and you got to splice it into the brown. I don't want you cutting it here and putting one of these wire nuts, because it can get corroded and everything else. What I'd like you to do, the kit comes with these little clips. What you're going to do is you're going to spread it apart. You can see there's teeth inside. You're going to put the power on the back channel. It's like a little groove, so you want to fit it back there like that. Then you want to take your brown from your light and put it in the second channel like this. Then you're going to squeeze it, bring the little flap over, give it one click, and then grab your pliers, give it another click, give it a little tug, and it's in there. It's nice and tight. And that's how you splice your brown power, your main, to your light. Now you're going to take your white, which is your ground. You're going to strip the end here, and it comes with these little guys here. Where are we? These little clips. You're going to come over, you're going to twist your wire, get it twisted first. Then you're going to lay it right inside. I like to kind of twist it and double it over. What I mean by that is double it over like that. You're going to take this little end, you're going to put it in the double over. And you're going to take a pair of pliers or cutters and you're going to squeeze one end first. Take your time. It's a pain in the neck, but you gotta, these are the little things you gotta take your time with. Squeeze, stick the wire in, squeeze these little teeth down, and then go back and squeeze the other side. I know they got tools for this, like crimping tools, but I could use the same tool for everything. You can see how it's crimped and it's on there. Now what you want to do is you want to sand a piece of underneath the undercarriage. You want to sand the paint off to get to the clear because you want a good connection. Then you're going to grab another self-tapping screw. And if you look under here, I went ahead and I sanded it, paint, and I pre-drilled. So I'm going to take this guy, put the screw through it, and he's going to be mounted under the frame. I'll show you. This is what you want it to look like. A nice sanded piece. Make good contact, and there's your ground. Now that we have our connections, we're going to pull it up through. We're going to pull that slack I talked about from the back, so it will look like, let's see if we can get this thing focused. All right, there we go. When I pull the slack from the back to the backlight, all this is going to go up inside this, up inside here, and it's going to be hidden up inside the channel. So it looks like this. Sorry about the light. The freaking sun is coming out, but you can see it's hidden. All right. All right, now that we have the wire run and that running light hooked up, we have the tail down at the end, the back of the trailer. Remember, on the driver's side, you're gonna have a bracket for the license plate. So it comes with two of these lights, obviously. The one that goes on the driver's side, pay attention, is the one with the LED at the bottom. So it shines down on your license plate, okay? So this one, remember, one has the LED at the bottom, the other one doesn't. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a 10mm, and you're going to back these off. These are the old ones. And remember, you have a ground here from the existing light, so we're going to reuse this. This is nice heavy duty. You can see it's grounded to one side here. Take that off. Pop this light and that piece off. You can see the two ends. You have your brown and your yellow, or your yellow and brown, I'm sorry. Again, yellow, brown, and then the ground. All right, so we're gonna splice our yellow browns together, and you gotta use wire nuts. And then we're gonna take our white along with the existing, like this, and we're gonna screw that right into the light. So you're gonna have your ground hooked up to the existing ground, put a nut there. We're gonna do yellow to yellow and brown to brown. Where are you hiding out, brown? There you go. What I like to do is just sand this down a little bit, clean this up. All right, I'm gonna clean this side up for the ground connection. And don't forget, I gotta grab the other bracket, the new one, and put it first. The bracket goes on first, and then it bolts like this. So let me grab the new bracket. I'll be right back. Put your bracket on. Get your wires dangling down here. Your washers. Put your washers on. Remember, we're going to do the ground over here with the existing ground. That's grounded to the trailer. You definitely want to inspect your existing ground. I did. The light was working, so it's good. There's no rot or corrosion over there. So you want to tighten this down. Get the other one, the other nut. Tighten that down. We'll do a final tightening when I'm finished. Now what you want to do is, you have this yellow and brown and you got this green here. What I like to do is I like to come down and I'll loop it. I want to follow it, and I'm going to tie wrap it here, here, and here. 3 tie wraps. Keep this thing secured so it's not coming out. And we're going to cut it. We're going to strip it back on both sides like this. We have an end here. We have an end here. You want to twist it. Always twist your wire before you stick it in a wire nut. Especially if it's thin, cheaper wire. Get this thing twisted. Okay? Some guys say you don't have to, but I do. So come up here, measure it by eye. You know, you want to make it look neat. I'm going to cut it about here. Very simple. Just cut it. Take your cutters, cut right down the middle to open it up, split it out like that. Going nice and easy. Been doing it for a long time, so I don't need that wire cutter. This one does have a little little tiny little hole in it, but I'm so used to cutting wire. So you just twist this side, twist this side. Then you're gonna go and grab your yellow to yellow. Give this a quick little twist. And this is where these guys come in handy. You could use the ones that come in the bag, or you can use a better quality one. I'll just use these because they're gonna be over here where I can access them if I ever have to replace them. You want to twist it until it stops. Don't go too crazy because you can actually snap it or cut it inside. Let's twist the browns together. Put it inside the wire nut. Hold it together and just keep twisting until this one stops. And that's it. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some tie wraps. We're going to tie it up. So it's like this, out of the way. Nice and neat. All right. All right, so you want to just, like I said, throw a tie wrap here. You could use smaller ones. I got this like 100 pack from Home Depot, all different sizes. So if you're looking for tie wraps, take a ride to the depot. The whole bag was like $6. I mean, it was super cheap. And you can see how I'm doing this. And then I want to get all these together, the grounds and the ends. And I apologize if the sun is bothering you, the light. You know what? Now that I'm looking, I went a little too fast. Get rid of that. You want to go around all of them. I apologize for that. You want to secure them all together. Bring this ground up so it's not hanging on the ground, it's behind the light. Give it a nice tug, and you see how this is? Now you take your cutters, and you get as close as you can, and cut these off, cut the ends. Now you can see how nice and neat it is. It's behind the light, it's not hanging on the ground, and that's the way you want it. So let's take a look at this light and see what it looks like from behind. And that's how you wire up trailer lights. Obviously I'm gonna go do the other side, and it's the same way as I did this side. But if you look here, it's a nice looking light. It's got the bracket for the plate. So I'm gonna move on to the other side. Remember, do your running light first with a little bit of slack, like this one. I think it's gonna look cool at night. And out here you wonder how much you should leave before you pull it all into the trailer, grab your piece that you had before, if you have it, this guy, and basically eye out the length, because we're going to cover the wiring up at the end and reclamp the main ground to here, like in the beginning of the video. I'm going to clean those ends up, grind that up a little bit, and we'll be good to go. Hey, I want to thank you for watching. If you have any questions about this installation, leave a comment below. I will return it. I return most of my comments within, I don't know, a couple days. And I hope this helped if anyone's looking to rewire their trailer. Very simple, it's basic. It's on your own, it's a nice little project, especially if you have a kid with you. Your son can climb under there if he has to staple or do whatever he has to do to the wiring. All right, so we'll catch you on the next one. What do we got to do now? Yo, Sonny! Sonny? Sonny, are you up there? Sonny!
Yes, Sonny.
Sonny.